Welcome to today's lesson. In our previous lesson, we discussed about the climate of India, and today our topic of discussion is the natural vegetation of India. The video link of the previous lesson has been provided in the description for your reference. So let's begin today's lesson. Well, here we can watch a video of the Botanical Garden of India, which is situated in Howrah, West Bengal. The full name of this garden is Acharya Jagadish Chandra Bose Indian Botanic Garden. It was set up in 1890 with the objective of exploring the plant resources of the country and identifying and protecting the endangered plant species. This garden has a specimen of more than 12,000 plant species, the most noteworthy of them being the great banyan tree. It is a banyan tree with more than 1,000 prop roots and a circumference of 313 meters, which is thrice the average size of a cricket ground. This tree stands as a living legend and has been recognized as one of the largest trees in the world. Now, apart from this great banyan tree, the garden also exhibits and is famous for its enormous collections of orchids, water lilies, palms, bamboos, pines, etc. Now, all these trees have been collected from different parts of the country and have been raised here. Now, although this garden is a man-made thing that is created by human being, but it is a replica of the natural vegetation of India. So now let us understand the meaning of natural vegetation. Well, natural vegetation of any region refers to a plant community that has grown naturally and exists independently of human intervention. That is, any forests, grasslands, shrubs, etc. that have cropped up or has grown naturally without human aid and have been left undisturbed by human beings for a long time. Now, we often grow plants in our rooftops of gardens or cultivate crops. They are also a part of plant community, but they do not form natural vegetation of any region because they grow with human aid and not naturally. Whereas forest, mangroves, scrubs and thorns and other types of trees that are found in different parts of the country form the natural vegetation of India because these trees have grown up naturally. Now, all these trees and plants are the true assets of our country and are quite valuable for us. Let's see how. Well, we all know that there are 4 basic things that are required for our survival, and they are air, shelter, water and food. We human beings or any living beings cannot live without these 4 things. Now, these things are so important that the scientists or researchers are spending dollars to discover them in other planets. Now, let me tell you an interesting fact. Plants provide us with these things either directly or indirectly. For instance, oxygen or air that we breathe in comes from or is given off by plants. Again, the timber that is used for constructing, building houses, etc. are again obtained from plants. Plants also provide us with fresh water in the form of rain. Again, the fruits, vegetables, cereals, etc. that form a major part of our diet come from plants. So, we find that plants provide us with basic things that are required for our survival or existence. As discussed just now, plant provides us with oxygen that we breathe in, and in turn the carbon dioxide gas that is exhaled by human beings and animals is absorbed by plants. Thus we find that there is a constant exchange of gases between plants and animals. Now this oxygen gas that is given off by plants is very important for us as it helps us to perform all the metabolic activities. So we find that plants is indeed very useful for us and it is the natural supplier of oxygen on earth. In other words, we can also say that plants act as the lungs of our mother earth. Now apart from oxygen, plants also eliminate water vapor or moisture through leaves by the process of transpiration. Now this water vapor eliminated by the plants eventually form clouds and cause rain. Thus plants help in causing rainfall and this in turn regulate global temperature by causing a cooling effect. Now, a number of products that we use in our daily lives like sugar, cotton clothes, fruits and vegetables, rubber tires, paper, wooden furniture, etc. are obtained from plants. Thus, apart from oxygen and water, plants also provides us with numerous valuable products. Now, before proceeding with our lesson, here we have a question to answer. It asks, which of the following is not obtained from plants? And the options given are fruits, timber, meat or cotton. Well, which of them do you think is the correct one? See, we just discussed that fruits, timber and cotton are obtained from plants, while meat, as we know, is obtained from the flesh of animals. So the item that is not obtained from plants will be meat. So the correct option is meat. So now let us continue with our discussion. Well, we all know that plants grow on soil and in this process they bind the soil with their root system. Thus plants act as a protective layer and they prevent or reduce surface runoff, and this in turn prevents soil erosion. Also, plants act as excellent shelter belts by obstructing wind flow, especially if you plant the trees in a perpendicular direction to the wind flow. So, if the plants are planted in a perpendicular direction to the wind flow, then the soil is not swept away by wind. Thus, here we find that plants prevent soil erosion by holding the soil firmly and by obstructing the wind flow. So, we find that plants are indeed an important part of the environment. Now in this photo collage, we can see many wild animals. Let's identify them. We can see chimpanzees, gorillas, toucans, which are birds, snakes, frogs, leopards, etc. Now where do you think these animals live? Yes, these animals live in forest. So forest is the home or natural habitat of many wild animals. Now just imagine what will happen if we destroy forests or cut down trees. Yes, these poor animals will become homeless and they will eventually die. So the very existence of these animals depend on plants. Well, there are some plants that have medicinal value and those plants are called medicinal plants. Some examples of medicinal plants are tulsi, aloe vera, neem, fenugreek or methi, turmeric or haldi. Now, apart from them, the bark of cinchona tree is used to prepare quinine, which is a medicine used in the treatment of malaria. So because of medicinal and healing properties, these medicinal plants are used in Ayurvedic treatment. So, till now we have discussed about various importance of plants. We saw that plants are the provider of valuable products like timber, paper, etc. Plants are the natural supplier of oxygen and also acts as carbon sink by absorbing carbon dioxide. There are various plants that have medicinal properties like neem, tulsi, etc. Plants brings natural rain and regulates temperature. So plants are the natural supplier of rain on earth. Plants also prevent soil erosion, and plants are the habitat of many wild animals. So we see that plants is our valuable resource because it has lots of benefits or importance. Well, apart from plants, animals are also quite valuable to us. We know protein is an important nutrient of our balanced diet. And this protein is obtained from various animal-based food like fish, meat, eggs, cheese, etc. So we find that animal provides us with food which is an important part of our daily meal or diet. Well, apart from food, skin or fur of animals is processed in order to prepare leather, which is an important raw material for bags, shoes, belts, etc. Apart from leather, wool is obtained from the fur of yak, sheep, etc. And this wool is an important fabric for cardigans, sweaters and many winter garments. So we find that just like plants, animals also provide us with many valuable products. Well, just like animals, birds and insects are also equally important. They suck nectar from flowers and help in the process of pollination, that is the process through which plants multiply. Again, certain insects like bees use this nectar in order to prepare delicious honey. So honey bees produce honey with the help of nectar that they suck from flowers. Other than providing us with many valuable products, animals also help to keep the environment clean. There are certain birds like vultures who are scavengers, that is, they feed on dead and decaying organisms. Also, there are certain insects like termites who are decomposers because they help to decompose dead and decaying bodies of plants or animals. Thus, we find that this is how, by decomposing the dead and decaying waste, these birds or insects help to keep the environment clean. So both plants and animals or natural vegetation and wildlife are important resource of any country. But instead of protecting them, we human beings are acting irresponsibly and harming them. Let's see how. Well, we know that plants provide us with many valuable products like timber, paper, fuelwood, etc. In order to meet the requirements for these items, human beings cut down trees and destroy forests. Forests are also being cleared off in order to provide space for agriculture and for building infrastructure like buildings, roads, railways, etc. Now, this indiscriminate act of cutting down trees in order to cater human needs is known as deforestation. Now, deforestation is an evil act. It depletes the green cover and also leaves poor wild animals homeless. This is because we know that forests are the habitat of wild animals. So, by pursuing deforestation, we are destroying both natural vegetation and wildlife. Well, apart from harming animals indirectly by destroying forests, human beings are also killing them directly. For various reasons, animals like Elephants are being hunted in order to obtain tusks from them. Rhinoceros are hunted for their horns. Bears are hunted in order to obtain fur from them, and tigers, leopards, snakes, etc. are hunted to obtain skin from them. So we find that animals are hunted for different purposes. Even wolves, sometimes they are hunted just for fun or recreation. Now this act of killing or capturing wild animals is known as poaching, and it is considered as an illegal and offensive act all over India. Now, although it has been tagged as an illegal activity, but it is very sad that still it is even pursued in many parts of India. Now, due to reckless human activities like poaching and deforestation, the number of animals is declining sharply. And these animals that are left very few in number and are at the verge of extinction are known as endangered animals. Now, some examples of endangered animals found in India are Royal Bengal tiger, Asiatic lion, snow leopard, Nilgiri tahr, black buck, and one-horned rhinoceros. And as we know, these animals are hunted all over India for various purposes, like tigers are hunted for their skin, rhinoceros are hunted for their horns, etc. But harming animals and destroying forests should be stopped immediately. Otherwise, we would have to live in a world without animals and plants, which will not be at all favorable for us. Instead, we should provide protection to natural vegetation and wildlife. Let's see how. Well, the first and foremost step towards conserving the natural vegetation, wildlife, and the entire biodiversity of any country is to stop deforestation and promote afforestation. Well, as we know, deforestation refers to the act of indiscriminate cutting down of trees, whereas afforestation refers to the act of planting trees. Now, due to rapid urbanization, industrialization, and growing population, sometimes deforestation becomes indispensable. So, what is the remedy? Well, what can we do is that we should apply a smart trick. That is, if we are cutting down one tree in one part of the country, then we should plant 2 trees instead. In this way, the overall stock of natural resources will be maintained and it will increase over time. And trust me, if all the individuals apply this trick, then soon our world will become more greener. Now, in order to explain what and how an individual can make a difference, let me tell you an inspiring story in this context. A man from Assam named Jadav Molai Paing single-handedly made a forest on 550 hectares of barren land. And he started planting trees on the land in the year 1979. And in that year, he planted only few trees, and over the span of 30 years, he converted the entire land into a dense forest and full of biodiversities. And this man is quite protective about his forest. Now, for this generous act, he was rewarded with Padma Shri in the year 2015 by the government of India and is popularly known as the Forest Man of India. So you saw how as an individual he contributed towards increasing the green cover of the country and also protecting the biodiversity of India. Now, just like plants, poor animals also needs protection from us. In order to protect the wildlife of India, the government has created many national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves. Now, these areas are protected because here the animals live safely in their natural habitat. Also, these areas are not at all secluded from us, rather it is open to the visitors. Jeep safari and animal safari is allowed here in order to observe the animals in wild. Now, as an individual, what can you do to protect the poor creatures? Well, you can stop using animal products and put a ban on them. Instead, you can look for alternatives. This is to say that instead of using jackets made from leather or fur, you can switch to synthetic fabrics or artificial fabrics. Also, instead of using leather bags, you can use jute bag, which is a plant-based product. So, as an individual also, we can do a lot towards protecting the animals of India. Now further, in order to create general awareness among people regarding the environment and to protect the biodiversity of the country, the government has created and dedicated an entire week for these two activities. Tree planting festival is observed in the first week of July, and this is known as Van Mahotsav. Also, first week of October is observed as the Wildlife Week. Now, during this entire weeks, various cultural programs and awareness programs are conducted all over India, especially by the students of schools and colleges. And this is done in order to make the citizens more aware of their environment and to protect the biodiversity of the country overall, so that tomorrow we will have a better world to live with plants and animals, and so also because we can live harmoniously with nature. So this brings us to the end of today's discussion on natural vegetation and wildlife. In this lesson, we initially started our discussion by understanding the definition of natural vegetation. We know natural vegetation refers to a plant community that is formed naturally and without human aid. And some of the examples are grasslands, forests, mangroves, deserts, etc. Then we also discuss in details about the importance of natural vegetation. Further, we focused on the importance of wildlife and how we can conserve the natural vegetation and wildlife in order to live in a better earth. So that's all about today's lesson. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers or to get access to our 5,000 amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million-plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubts resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, but it's rewarding too. So register for free now.